Tom.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Yeah.
You're the co-founder of the London digital agency Wholegrain Digital, which is a certified B Corp company and a specialist in WordPress, web performance and sustainability. You've also just written a book on sustainable web design for A Book Apart, and you have co-authored the Sustainable Web Manifesto, and you're also editing a monthly newsletter on green design called Curiously Green. So sustainable web design is obviously a very big topic for you.
Yeah.
Can you quickly explain what it is? Why is it important and how did you get into it in the first place?
Sure. So sustainable web design is essentially the process of looking at the environmental impacts of digital services during the web design process so that we can minimize the amount of energy consumed and the carbon emissions caused by the services. And I got into it initially because I've been interested in environmental issues since I was at school, and I actually got into digital as a way of avoiding, like, I studied product design, physical product design, at university, and I got into digital as a way of trying to move away from like the physical environmental impacts of
Yeah.
products that have to be manufactured and shipped across the world, and then they get thrown in landfill sites when we've used them a couple of times. And I thought, oh yeah, digital is great. You can make stuff that doesn't have any impact at all.
Yeah.
And you know, there's lots of benefits to digital from an environmental point of view. But it was a few years ago I realized when we were actually looking to certify as a B Corp, we started interrogating our own impact as a company a lot more thoroughly and asking the question, what's the impact of the products that we make? And we make digital products. And it was in that process of asking that question and sort of not taking no for an answer, like we need to know the answer, that we then realized, oh, okay, digital has a huge environmental impact through the vast amount of energy consumed globally by data centers, telecoms networks, end user devices, but also the physical impact of all of this electronic equipment that's manufactured and disposed of, and the water consumption in data centers, which people don't really talk about. But yeah, all sorts of very significant impacts, and so we really just sort of made it part of our mission as a Wholegrain to
Yeah.
try to demonstrate best practice in minimizing that.
And you've been doing that for a while, haven't you? I mean, sustainability has only recently become a topic, but you've been looking into that into it for about like 15 years or something like that.
Well, we've been looking at sustainability as a company since we started. Yeah, the company's 14 years old, and that was part of our kind of founding principle, was trying to be a sustainable agency. But the digital aspect of it has only really been about the last 5 years, because before that we we thought that digital products had no impact.
And then specifically the e-commerce industry. What are the main challenges the e-commerce industry is faced with when it comes to the impact on the planet?
Sure. So, I mean, I think a huge part of it is the impact of shipping and returns is a big thing. So, you know, it's so easy to buy things online and they can arrive at your door sometimes the next day, or at least within a few days. But the downside of digital is that you can't try on clothes, you can't try on shoes, you can't feel a product. And so in order to get around that, the e-commerce industry's made returns really, really easy, so that people feel like there's a low barrier. I'll just order stuff. If I don't like it, I'll send it back. But then the actual impact of shipping that stuff to the customer and then sending it back again is really significant. And actually, a lot of that stuff doesn't even get resold. Unfortunately, there's a huge cost to the e-commerce industry financially, but also huge environmental costs.
Mm-hmm. And can you quickly summarize what your chapter is about?
Yeah, so my chapter is about how can e-commerce websites use sort of user interface tweaks to encourage more sustainable behavior choices from their customers. So that might be, for example, not ordering multiple sizes of the same product, with the intention of actually sending 2 out of 3 back, because you know they'll be the wrong size. And how can you use the user interface to help people choose the right product in the first place? How can you help make people choose a more energy efficient or eco-friendly product over another one by actually the way that you communicate that online when they're faced with multiple product choices? How can you guide people to make more environmentally friendly choices? So it's about that aspect of sort of user interface tying in with consumer education to encourage more eco-friendly lifestyles, really.
How would you like to see the e-commerce industry evolve in a sustainable way? Do you think awareness is rising?
I think awareness is rising. I think the challenge is always going to be the need for the industry to constantly sell more. And that's always going to be a challenge, but I think awareness is rising, and I think that can only be a good thing.
Yeah. And how can e-commerce managers get started?
I think e-commerce managers can get started by looking at what they're already doing and identifying some low-hanging fruit in things that actually are wins for them, wins for their customers, and wins for the environment. So I think this customer education piece around how can you actually use the interface to educate customers about the benefits of certain products from an environmental point of view, to discourage people from ordering multiple sizes and returning them. These are things that actually, if you can get them right, they don't cost a lot of money to implement, and they benefit the company financially, they benefit the customer, they benefit the environment. So I think look for those low-hanging fruits that are a win for everybody.
And are there any resources that you'd like to recommend that people can use?
Yeah, so my book, Sustainable Web Design, is a good resource. Also check out sustainablewebdesign.org, which is sort of fairly comprehensive resource of strategies you can apply in web projects that benefit the environment, but also benefit people. And the Digital Declutter Toolkit, if you Google for that, it's got a more of a holistic look at the digital impact of web services. Yeah.
And at the Wholegrain Digital, you've also built a website carbon calculator, haven't you?
We have, yeah. So that's websitecarbon.com, and you can run any web page through there and get a carbon score of like how much carbon is emitted each time somebody visits that. And it's a really good way of sort of benchmarking not only your current web pages versus like future improvements that you might make, but also benchmarking against competitors and saying, okay, like, you know, are we best in class in our industry, or could we do better?
Yeah. Are there any other tools that you're working on at the moment? Anything else you'd like to mention that's coming up?
Well, we're doing an update of Website Carbon, so watch this space. There'll be a new version of it that's got more information, more up-to-date data. Yeah, so that's something to look for.
Cool, excellent. That'll do nicely. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Great. That was nice and sweet.
yeah. Just I think the best quotes and stuff like that, and put something nice together. Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah, great. And when's the ebook coming out?
I'm not completely sure. We are just waiting for one more article being finalized. I don't know. Do you know Katie Boothby Kung from Shopify? She's what's her title? She's senior manager of social impact, I think, at Shopify.
Okay.
So
Great.
she's come on board fairly late, and we're just finalizing the chapter, which is about kind of telling your story as a brand, your sustainability story, and what some of the Shopify merchants are doing in that space, which is really interesting. So we actually have 6 articles now in the ebook rather than 5, which is it's a nice mix. It's really
I'm really looking forward to reading it.
I definitely let you know as soon as we have something to show you. Once it's laid out, I think I'm going to get a PDF that I'll then share with you and with the other authors, so you can have a quick look at it. And if there's anything you'd like to change or update, just let us know.
Yeah, brilliant. Excellent.
Cool. Well, I'll keep you up to date, and enjoy your time off.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
I'll talk later. Cheers. Thank you very much.
See you then.
Bye.
Bye.